Welcome to module NAP. Today we will learn about what NAP can do for us. What are the basics of NAP? How long and when to take a nap, which is good for boosting performance and getting more sharp and so forth. And also we have a protocol, how to take a nap to maximize the positive effects of nap. So it has been from the very past that all mammals nap. As you can see, some cute pictures here. Humans also have been taking nap for most part of the evolution. However, once we got the factories, people started working indoors during daytime, which means slowly those people had no opportunity to take a nap. And with more modernization and a hectic pace of life all during daytime, nap has almost started to disappear, and now very little is left. Even in cultures like south of Europe, in Spain, now only 6% of people take nap. However, some communities who still live in very old style as hunter-gatherer, they still take nap. So it has been in the practice disappearing, but still few traces of very older tribes are still taking a nap. Now, before we get into the details, what do we mean by a nap? Let's define it. So it could be very short nap, 5 to 10 minutes. It could be very long nap running into a few hours. Of course, those two are two extremes. Usually people talk about power nap, 15, 20, 25 minutes, sometimes even longer nap if they haven't slept well enough the previous night. And to qualify as a nap, if you wake up in the morning and then you are feeling a little tired, exhausted, and you go back to bed within, let's say, half an hour, 1 hour, and you fall asleep again, let's say on a weekend, that won't count as a nap. Or some other evenings, nights, you are quite tired and you go to bed a little earlier than your normal time. Even that won't count as a nap. That will be like an early sleep. So roughly we can say that if you take a nap after 2 hours of your proper waking, and again, anytime during daytime, but not in the last 3 hours of normal bedtime. So it could be from 9 or 10, even very early for early risers, and it could be even in the evening. So after 2 hours of proper waking and not within the last 3 hours of normal bedtime. So what a nap can do for you, how it is beneficial. First of all, it increases our alertness. It can help you in increasing your motor performance. More sharp, more focus means improved accuracy. You tend to make better decisions after a nap. So some Silicon Valley executives are reported in the media that sometimes they schedule their very crucial meetings and they postpone their decision making to the afternoon, and they schedule a nap before that. So a nap is supposed to help in making better decisions. It also improves our perception. So you see the same thing, but you are more realistic and you see what you are supposed to see rather than a different picture. So even perception is improved. It improves stamina. Now, something very important for you, right? It improves mood. It improves, well, actually helps in reducing a stress level because cortisol secretion is stopped during that time or reduced, which helps in getting to a lower level of stress. And it also improves creative thinking. So quite many beneficial output of a typical nap. Now let's look a little bit in the science that why timing of nap is very important. So there are two things which affect what we get out of a nap. So the one thing is When we wake up, let's say early morning at 7 a.m., we have a very low level of sleep pressure. As many hours we are awake, the sleep pressure keeps rising. About 16 hours or so since we woke up, we have a pretty high level of sleep pressure, which makes us very sleepy. And as soon as we go to sleep, it drops down, the sleep pressure drops down very rapidly, as you can see the curve here. It depends from person to person. So 15, 16, 17 hours of continuous being awake, we build enough sleep pressure. So that's one thing. The second thing is in the morning when we wake up, our circadian rhythm is on the top. So we are like fully awake. And then with time, our wakefulness kind of drops off gradually. So in other words, in the morning time, REM concentration is very high, which means, and you might have noticed also that if you take a longer, if you take a sophomore, you sleep a little longer on a Saturday or Sunday, you tend to see a lot REM sleep. You seem to, you sleep, but you dream quite a lot. You don't get a lot of deep sleep, kind of restorative sleep. But with time, during the day, REM concentration keeps dropping. And by 10 or 11 in the evening, it is at a very low level. And at the same time, the sleep pressure is very high. And that's why when you fall asleep, you tend to get a lot of deep sleep rather than REM sleep. So one pressure goes up, the other one comes down. And where do they meet? That is the best time for nap, which we will see in the next slide or after that. So a quick recap of stage one, stage two, and the deep sleep part, because that will inform us when to take a nap. If you recall, we talked about that a sleep cycle can vary between 70 to 100 minutes, sometimes even longer. Then we stay in stage one only few minutes. We get to stage two, depending on which sleep cycle we are talking, whether daytime or nighttime, it can vary quite widely from 8 or 10 minutes to 25 minutes or even sometimes more. And if you remember, our body starts to slow down, heart rate drops, body temperature starts to drop, and some areas of the brain also starts to slow down. Deep sleep, you remember that now the body is operating at its lowest level, so very much and relaxed. And that's the time when growth hormones are released, which helps in recovery. Now, during daytime, since there is not enough sleep pressure built, we get not so much of deep sleep. So very smaller, maybe 20 minutes, that also quite late in the day, towards the afternoon, late afternoon. If you take a nap earlier in the day, you will get almost none or very little, few couple of minutes of deep sleep, even if you take a proper one sleep cycle, which is 90 minutes long nap. Depending on the time, but during daytime nap, earlier in the day, you will get quite a lot of REM sleep, and towards the late part of the day, you will get much shorter. But around middle of the day, it will be 15 minutes or so of REM sleep per sleep cycle. So if you take a longer nap of 90 minutes, a proper one sleep cycle nap, you tend to get sizable amount of REM sleep. Here you see that where the both curves meet around that time, so around 1 to 3 p.m. could be the right nap opportunity. Now that also depends if you are a morning person or evening person. If you woke up very early and if you are used to waking up quite early, then it could shift like half an hour or 1 hour to the left, which means if you are a very late riser, then you wake up not 7, but maybe 8 or 9, then this 1 to 3 p.m. window will shift towards right. But in general, we can say after lunch, around 1 to 3 p.m. is a good nap opportunity window for most of us. If you are thinking about a power nap, a shorter nap, anything between 5 to 20, 25 minutes, that could be taken almost any time with good result for most of us. When we are talking a proper nap, which means we are talking one full sleep cycle nap, 90 minutes, that should be around 1 to 3 p.m., but we will take a closer look what time you wake up and when is that window in a minute. Now, in general, if you take one full sleep cycle nap, you get some stage one sleep, which I mentioned in my earlier session that doesn't do a lot for us from what we know as of now. However, stage two gives us quite a lot, and we will see what are those benefits. So although it seems it's light sleep, but it can help you in improving your performance in many ways. We will see in a couple of minutes. Deep sleep, not so much, but still that even a small benefit or a small boost can result in the final difference of 1 or 2% better performance. And REM sleep, of course, also has its own creative thinking kind of benefits. But a split could be that a lot of like 50-55 minutes of light sleep and then about 15-16 minutes of deep sleep. And so is also the dream sleep, REM sleep. So what are the benefits? If you take a shorter nap, like 20-25 minutes, you stay within light sleep stages, which means stage 1 and 2. So stage 2 will make you less sleepy. It will increase your alertness, your focus and concentration, and even quite nicely, it can enhance your motor performance, better mood. So a lot many good things you can expect even from 20-25 minutes of power nap. If you manage to take a deeper, longer nap where deep sleep happens, which you know happens towards the later part of the sleep, so you get 30, 35, 40 minutes, 45 minutes kind in the sleep, then you enter around deep sleep depending on what time of the day. And even the REM sleep helps in improving the perceptual and sensory processing. So you tend to perform even better. So what's the best time to take a nap? And as you can see in the left column, it depends what time you wake up. Now, this is not unusual waking time because this is about your circadian rhythm. So if you are used to waking quite early, so let's take an example. If you use to wake quite early, 5 a.m., then on an average, the perfect nap time starts at around 1 p.m. But if you want to take a lot of REM heavy nap, then you could take, quite early from 7 to 1. Sounds very radical. And if you take in the afternoon around 2:30 to 4, you will get a lot of deep sleep. Now, let's take most people probably might resonate with 7 a.m. Wake up time. In this case, the perfect nap time starts around 2 p.m. And now we are talking the longer nap, not the shorter nap. So REM nap anytime. So even after 2 hours from waking up from 9 to 2. But if you want restoration of your tired body and feel even perform better than the longer nap, 90 minutes nap, you have a window here. As you can see, some of these times are very, very radical. So it's theoretically possible, but if you take a nap, let's say here from 6:30 to 8, now you will get the benefit that day after the nap. However, your nighttime sleep most likely will be compromised. So it's a crucial decision you have to take. If you want to perform that evening at the top of your top level, you should go for it. But be prepared that coming night sleep will be most likely not so good, which means the following day you might not be in your good 100% top form. So it depends what you want out of a nap. Short nap, long nap. Do you want to get faster, better recovery, or do you want just to improve your focus, concentration, and so forth? Now, this is a protocol how to take a nap. If you know beforehand that you will take a nap sometime later today, then put this in your calendar so that you organize your things accordingly. And very soon you will see some of those things we have to plan in advance to get a better nap. Find a good place, safe place, so that you don't fall off the chair or sofa or couch, or you are not even in the way for others. Then you don't want to be disturbed when you are trying to take a nap. So a minor reminder that put your mobile on silent mode. If possible, you should make it dark. I could understand it might not be always possible. Then you can use an eye mask to create a better darkness around your eyes. If it's too noisy surrounding, then you can use earplugs, or if you are used to listening to binaural beats, so it will help you also in transiting to stage one quite faster, and it will also kind of block out the noise from the surroundings. Um, it might be cold, then you should get a blanket or a filt, something to keep you warm that will make you fall asleep faster. And it would be good to be in a good ergonomic position so that after the nap you don't feel your neck or shoulder kind of stiff. So be in a good posture, lie down, get a good couch, or if something is around possible, but get a good supportive posture. Even using your both hands folding and taking a nap on the desk might be a temporary solution if you are taking a shorter nap. You can use the travel pillow or neck pillow, usually used on the flight. That kind can give you good support for your neck and head. Now, usually we are a bit high on adrenaline and cortisol during daytime, and if just being at the high level of activation and then you start to take a nap, it takes a lot longer to get to stage one and stage two of sleep. So how to quicken that process? So one way of doing is that you can do your 4-7-8 breathing 8 or 10 times. So you are forcing yourself to come from fight and flight mode to rest and digest mode, which will help quite a lot. And then if your body is quite stiff, you have had a long training session and all, then you might also think to do the progressive muscle relaxation techniques for a few minutes. So these two done back to back most likely will make you much relaxed and less stiff, which means you should be able to get to stage one quite quickly. And be mindful to not have the coffee or other caffeine containing cola or even some nicotine like half an hour or 45 minutes just before nap time, because usually caffeine kind of kicks in about 30 to 40 minutes after you ingest it. So you don't want to be in this state where caffeine has been activated, because then it will delay your onset of sleep. And although you will try to take a nap, your eyes might be closed, but you will struggle and you might not get the full benefit of a nap. And same goes for a heavy meal. So yeah, after a heavy lunch with a lot of carb and sugar and fat, we spoke last time also, that makes sleeping a bit more difficult, and it delays the process. So you don't want to waste the opportunity of the time you have allocated for the nap. So if you have scheduled in your calendar a time for nap, probably you will be more mindful of when to drink coffee or other cola, or even when to eat your lunch. Now, some of us struggle to take a nap during daytime, or it could be that the surrounding is very noisy, you are among many people, and it's probably not practical to take a real nap. So in that case, a similar kind of benefit to a large extent could be achieved through using a meditation app. Could be one of these, or if you have your own favorite, use any meditation app. We have spoken a little bit about Yoga Nidra, at least to some of you. So this is another kind of meditation, guided meditation thing, which can be used to take a nap or to help getting to the nap much faster. So you can try one of these if you are interested. If you are very good in taking nap and falling asleep otherwise, then probably you don't need it, but just an extra resource. This is also a new technology developed in the last few years, binaural music. You can use it to get to rest and digest mode much faster, and especially it helps in slowing down the activity in the brain. So here are some resources, you can check it out, especially this last one at Spotify, for example. Here you have several playlist of binaural music. So use a good headphone, close your eyes, wear a set of eye mask, and you can drop off in a nap probably much faster. And it helps in getting the more out of a nap. So I highly recommend trying one of these. Now, nap can be a kind of double-edged sword for many of us. It might work for you, it might not. So it doesn't work for every and each one of us. So it's worth trying and finding out what kind of nap and when suits you. So first start with the shorter power naps and try to take a power nap many different times from very early morning to quite late in the evening. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So see, even by knowing that if you can take a 10-minute nap and it works for you, it gives you something, you can maximize your recovery and performance even during competition times. For example, if you're sitting on the team bus towards the stadium or your field, you can take advantage of that, close your eyes and take a 10-minute power nap, and you get 1 or 2% better feeling, better stamina, and so forth. Then also try, at least give it a try, the 90 minutes nap. So sounds, again, if you're not used to it, why should I sleep that long in the daytime? But it might make a vital difference at the time of the competition, for example. So different times of the day, even different lengths of nap. Usually 40, 50, 60 minutes are not so effective for many because people might feel a little groggy, almost like a zombie, if they take one of these long naps. Now the question is, why should I then even try it? So some of us take a lot longer to fall asleep or get to stage 1. So if you are one of those, then what looks like a 40, 50-minute nap is in effect basically much shorter. It could be that you need 40 minutes to get 25 minutes of nap, or even if it takes even longer. The only challenge is if you wake up in the middle of deep sleep, then you will feel tired and very like a zombie. But so it's worth try, but give it a try when you are kind of on holiday or when you are not training hard. So you shouldn't risk your training or performance. So when you can afford to have a bad day and bad night of sleep, then try it, because we wouldn't know until we try it out. Now, when you do these experiments, it will be helpful to make some notes, because then you would know which one is working and which one is not. So what time of the day you are taking the nap, note it down, how long nap you took, and then how did you feel after the nap? What was the effect on your mood, on your focus? There is that long list in the third slide. You can refer back. So kind of you can rate how did it feel, and then the sleep inertia means if it made you feel tired and very like a zombie. So, and this is also very crucial, that if you take a longer nap and if you feel that it affected your nighttime sleep, means it took much longer for you to fall asleep, or if you woke up quite many times during the night, it could be a sign that sleep pressure was kind of dissipated, or if part of it was used during the nap time. So you should know how long nap, and then what is that, how much that affects your nighttime sleep. And then you would know that what works for you. So how long and when is the right time of is the nap for you, and then you can use it as per your requirement. So what are the main things we learned in this module? That this 90 minutes kind of longer proper nap can be used to supplement nighttime sleep. So let's say you had only a short night, which means let's say is 4.5, 5 hours, 6 hours of sleep, and you want to complement that, then you can take one more full 90-minute nap the next day. So it can be used to supplement the nighttime sleep. Of course, it has its own risks, which we spoke earlier. So nap can give a temporary boost in performance. So typically the positive effect of a short nap will be effective until about 2 hours from the nap. So power nap gives a boost for about 2 hours, but if it's a proper nap, 90 minutes, that boost is for the rest of the day. Makes you feel better in many ways. And then when you take the nap and how long you take the nap, that makes a big difference. And then you have to identify what works for you. As I said earlier, that short naps, power naps can work for most of us almost any time of the day. But these longer naps, when you get into the deep sleep and you wake up in the middle of a sleep cycle, so that can interfere with the nighttime sleep. So test it, try it, experiment it when you could afford to have a bad day or bad night. So 90 minutes or longer, that's should be used only as and when needed, when you understand the pros and cons of it. And some kind of meditation app could also help you in getting more out of a nap. And a binaural music could also be a tool to use while you are trying to take a nap. Questions?